Hi friends, today is August 8th and I wanted to make a video. I woke up this morning thinking today's the day I'm going to make a video. I missed out on making a video for the new moon this month on the 4th, so this is kind of in lieu of that. I wasn't planning to make this video. I did want to do a new moon video, but sort of days went by and I kind of feel like I missed the chance. But today is this moment and right now is here we are, so let's do a reading. Please tune in with me while I shuffle. Set aside any tasks or distractions and put some headphones in so you can really tune in and pay attention and be fully present for the messages that are coming through, so you don't waste your time with just this having this kind of on in the background while you do other things. Bring all of your presence here with me while I shuffle. Check in with your higher self. Ask your higher self to tune into my higher self so that we can create a feedback loop. That way the messages that come through will be completely tailored and precise for you. If you take a moment to do that little visualization, this will be more or less a private reading for you. So it is worth it to make that moment and set up that dialogue. So I'm going to do a general reading here for all signs. This is going to be an energy transmission. I am not an astrologer. I am a channel. I'm going to channel energies from this time, specifically for today, but this will be a portal, I feel, for, you know, the next little time period. Let's see what my guides pass along as far as the time span that this energy transmission will govern, and we'll see what energies are available for us over this time. So I'm going to do a general reading, as I said, for all signs using the Voyager deck first, and then if time permits later on, I'm going to do specific messages for each of the zodiac signs using my Morgan Grid deck at the end of this third part. So let's take a look. 8-8. What's going on? 8-8. Chariot reversed, crossed by the 7 of Cups. 2 sevens. Ace of Cups. 9 of Worlds reversed. 8 of Worlds. 7 of Crystals. So 3 sevens. Woman of Worlds. Death. Child of Cups. Tower reversed with the Hangman. Very interesting. 6 of Cups. The Emperor reversed. And Wheel of Fortune reversed. Interesting spread. The foundation, we have the Sage of Crystals, which is kind of equivalent to the King of Swords. Okay, let's take a look here at what is being presented through the tarot. Now, my first feeling and the first impressions that I'm getting from this spread here is that there is like an overwhelming kind of overcoming of a recent heartbreak. It's kind of like this sweeping, I get this sensation of like a sweeping clearance of the past to bring you to a point here where there's a kind of availability that you're bringing with your presence by way of kind of, I'm hearing reset. It's kind of a reset. That's what this feels like. Chariot reverse crossed by 7 of Cups. It's like what you feel, whatever transgressions you feel may have occurred, you are able to overcome and just be willing to accept and be. It's not even about forgiveness. It's not about like. It's not about clearing the past through forgiveness. It's just a moment of realization that you are actually right here, right now. And whatever has gone before doesn't necessarily have to define you. Your future is not necessarily decided by where you've just come from. It's this feeling of having this fresh availability to anything in this moment right now, simply by being awake to the moment of knowing that this is a fresh start. This is a fresh moment. So, yeah, with these cards down here in the foundation, you have the Woman of Worlds with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, 9 of Worlds in reverse, Death and the Emperor in reverse. So it feels to me like, and look at the colors too, it's just like blues and golds. Blues and golds. What it feels like to me is that there is this turning point where what I'm hearing is what has been will be. What has been will be. What has been will be. I get this feeling like everything's okay. It's just okay. Where you've been, where you've come from, what's happened in the past, it's just what was. It doesn't have to define you, although you can let it form you and mold you and create you in a way that it is empowering and is profoundly definitive and formative, but it doesn't have to be something, it doesn't have to create a kind of, I'm hearing scorn, but what I feel with that is that there's this energy here where your scars can make you beautiful. Your scars can make you beautiful. Your scars don't have to create like this sort of tragic, painful character that people need to tiptoe around. Like you don't have to be a victim of what happened to you, in the sense that your painful experiences can make you a bigger person, a brighter person, a happier person, even in spite of the transgressions. Right? Like this Ace of Cups crowning the reading is very telling. It really feels to me like there's this overwhelming drive towards overcoming any painful experiences from the past, any kind of wounded feelings or tragic moments, and just arrive at this place where everything is new, everything is fresh. You are available to all of the beneficial energies that want to move in to support you, and you can leave behind that wounded person that may have been kind of in a bit of a loop of repeating patterns by way of a certain space that you've been holding that had that kind of, it's almost like scar tissue was kind of generating a repeating wound. But now there's this clearance where your scar is a beautiful thing, it's not an ugly thing, and it creates this space for a type of wholeness that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to attain. Hangman here in the outcome with the Tower reverse is really interesting. I like this diagonal axis here. You've got 5 major arcana cards here crossing this diagonal axis of the reading. So you've got Death in reverse with the Emperor, so Death upright with the Emperor in reverse in this quadrant. And then here in the outcome you have the Tower in reverse with the Hangman. So it's basically what I've already been saying. I'll just try and find a different way to say it so that I'm not repeating the same words. But what I'm feeling here with this Tower reverse and the Hangman upright is that specific locations and places and people and situations from the past that were shocking and traumatic events are not definitive of you. Like you're not necessarily holding on to those shocking events in a way that is generating just give me a sec to find the right words. It's like it's like overcoming stagnation. Overcoming stagnation with this energy. That's what it is. You're overcoming stagnation. You're overcoming a type of stuckness that you may have been experiencing as a result of difficult experiences in the past that you weren't able to understand, or that you weren't able to translate into useful, productive information. And here it's saying that those experiences from the past, which may have kind of forced you into a space of stagnation because of the shock value, right? Like that fight or flight mechanism kicked in because of something difficult or traumatic, and you may have been stuck in a kind of mode of not knowing what to do, and that kind of may have generated a type of stagnation that you may not have been able to overcome until now. And here it says that with these configuration of cards is that you're able to overcome stagnation, and instead of being in this space of like deer in the headlights, kind of still kind of a little bit frozen by the shock of difficult experiences from the past, even if they were a really long time ago and a lot's happened since then, there may have been an element within you where you might have been kind of treading water in certain circumstances, in certain environments, in your progression may have felt a little stalled or a little halted or a little, not moving. There may have been this feeling of stagnation or treading water or immovability. But now that's being transmuted into this Hangman energy, which is more about just presence and availability. There's a kind of patience, I'm hearing reward now. So perhaps for some of you, there may have been some enlightening moments in the recent times, like really within the last few days, or perhaps this may not have happened for you yet, but it could be that in the next couple of days to come, you might experience some kind of energy where information comes to you, where all of a sudden that the pause button gets released and you feel like an energy of moving forward. And it's more coming from this place of, rather than being stulted or traumatized and terrorized and shocked because of something from the past that made you kind of stuck and stagnant, there's this freedom coming through where there's an because of there's something switches from stagnation to availability, and that energy of not moving switches from a kind of hazy, delusional, confused energy to one of like pure presence and availability. And it's in that space information can be received by you that gives you that, like, the unfreeze happens. You know, I just kind of saw a scene from a movie there where, you know, time stands still and everybody's kind of frozen, and something happens where someone then switches things back on again and people continue moving through the scene. That's what it feels like here. It's like something that has been maybe stuck or frozen in time now has a kind of freedom to move forward, but with such a greater awareness. It's like a feeling of exponential understanding that is coming through this reading here, where I feel like, and some of you may or may not actually cognize what that is. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. It's just simply about being able to move forward now and come out of a space of having maybe been stuck for a little while in certain areas of life, and overcoming stagnancy, overcoming trauma, and just giving yourself that clean sweep that you really need, that you really want. Coming into a space of greater clarity and understanding. Bottom of the deck, Sage of Crystals, Two of Wands reversed, Universe, and Sage of Cups. Beautiful. So you had Emperor here. Now you have Sage of Cups, Sage of Crystals. There's this kind of like masculine energy I'm feeling here in this reading. Masculine energy. It's almost like a healing of the masculine in some ways. Like maybe there was some like I'm hearing diminishment. So if there had been some diminishment of your personal authority in some way, I feel like that's something that you're overcoming now, and you're kind of rising up into a place where you understand with greater clarity where your authority resides and how to access that from a place of confidence, but with humility and understanding, so that it doesn't come out in a brash, arrogant way, and you're able to kind of perceive and translate what you understand in life to others in a way that is really pure and really healing, and translates in a way that is like kind of giving permission to others in a way. Like your truth and clarity around your own self is translating in a way that is purifying and healing and clarifying for others to allow them into their own authority as well. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. I feel that's it for the general reading here. I hope that everyone got something out of that. Alright, let's take a look now with the Morgan Grid deck, and we're going to move our way around the zodiac to pass on messages for each of the astrological signs. As I said, I'm not an astrologer. This is just simply a way for me to organize the content and kind of narrow down and get a little bit more specific for individuals. But I would recommend that you watch the whole reading, as it's not necessarily, you know, like you might find half of the messages or all of the messages are relevant for you, not just your sun sign or your moon sign or your ascendant. So do watch the video through to the end and take what resonates for you. Another way that I'm finding also works with these readings, with these all signs readings for the collective, when I do these transmissions for the signs, you can translate. Like for example, if Pisces is your third house, right? Then relate maybe the messages about what comes through for Pisces to issues that relate to the third house, for example. Anyways, just watch all the way through to the end, because there's definitely going to be wisdom and guidance in here for you throughout these messages that come through. So let's take a look here. Shuffling now for, let's say, what month is it? It's August. So let's start with Leo. So messages for Leo. Two of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. I want to take one more. Ace of Wands in reverse. So for Leo, what I feel this is saying here is that you may have felt, like for some Leo people, you may have felt, even though this is Pentacles energy here in these three cards, I feel that this is about communication. I feel that for some Leo people, you may have been holding back on things that you really need to communicate, things that you need to have needed to express to individuals specifically, that has been affecting your ability to feel confident in yourself, to feel grounded and stable in your personal space. And I feel that this is a time here now where you may be coming to a place where you can understand that maybe your inability to communicate has been as a result of some kind of experience from the past that you're now ready to move on from. And the terror or the trauma of an experience from the past that may have made you feel stagnant or a little bit stuck or unable to move forward in certain areas of your life is now moving. And you may be able to now find ways to communicate clearly things that you may not have been able to express before. And this is a very healing experience, I feel. I think there's something that you really need to say to someone in particular, to one person in particular, that you may not have been able to kind of articulate until now. And you may have felt a little bit every emotion. That's what I feel. I feel you've been feeling every emotion, from really frustrated and angry to really devastated and sad, that you haven't been able to clearly communicate something specific to a person that has been really affecting you on a daily level, and they don't even realize it. They don't even realize it. And you haven't been able to help them see just how much their energy has been affecting you, and this has been a great source of frustration for you. But I feel like something is moving here, and I feel like in this time period you will be able to kind of collect yourself and gather yourself in a certain way to be able to, with precision, clarify something that will enable you to change your dynamic with a person. And it's going to move out of a place of being stuck and frustrated into one where, and maybe it's not even about them, it's maybe just about you kind of letting go of something that has been preventing you from shifting your energy in the dynamic with this person. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to move on to the next sign now. That was a bit of a ramble there. So that was Leo. After Leo we have Virgo, right? Nine of Swords reversed with the Hermit Hermit upright. Interesting. For Virgo, the Virgo Hermit is your own card, right? Virgo, Nine of Swords reversed with the Hermit. Let's take one more. Knight of Wands in reverse. I'm hearing limitation. It's a little bit of a strange one. What I just heard is translating the incomprehensible. Translating the incomprehensible. So what I feel this is here is that at the moment your challenge or your task is to communicate something or translate something that is for other people incomprehensible, or even I don't know, what's the word for that? It's like you can see something that other people can't see, and your job here is to communicate or put that description or that perception into a kind of communication that is digestible for other people, right? Translate the incomprehensible. I'm going to leave it there. That's very cryptic, but I feel like that's all that I have to say for Virgo. So after Virgo is Libra, 5 of Swords in reverse with the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, I feel like for some Libra people, you may be definitely, well, maybe dealing with some frustrating moments at work where there may have been some kind of like difficulty with collaboration and difficulty with being able to again communicate your ideas to a team of people, or in your work arena where you may have to kind of share tasks, or you know, manage a team, for example, if you're the leader of a team or if you're part of a team. There could have been some challenges here with regard to the way you communicate the task at hand, and actually inspire and motivate people to actually stretch themselves beyond what they think they're capable of to achieve something greater. So I feel that the message here, and I'm going to take one more card actually, 2 of Wands in reverse. So 5 of Swords reverse, 3 of Pentacles reverse, and 2 of Wands in reverse. What is it? I feel that you may actually be dealing with like a kind of competitiveness, but it's you might be actually perceiving, let's say like this, you might be perceiving that there's someone in your team, or in your group, or in your amongst your collaborators, let's say, where you feel there's some kind of unspoken competitiveness that is making it feel a little bit difficult to achieve a common goal. But what I feel is that this is actually here is that it's not actually, there isn't really a competitiveness in the way you're perceiving it. That energy of competitiveness that you're perceiving is actually your own insecurities about what you feel are your tasks to command, or your position, whether you're a leader in that situation or whether you are a member of a team. I feel there's some energy here around your own insecurities about your capabilities. And what I feel is saying here is that there is no need to judge yourself. Stop judging yourself. Just drop everything and just bring your humble best, and eliminate this false pretense of there being some competitiveness, and just do your best. That's all. Be authentic and just genuinely bring your best, and stop trying to create competitiveness that isn't there. It's not there. You're making it up. I'm going to leave it there. That's it for Libra. After Libra is Scorpio. 3 of Wands in reverse, King of Wands upright. Everyone's getting 3, so let's take 3. Page of Wands in reverse. So look at all this Wands energy here. 3 of Wands in reverse, King of Wands, and Page of Wands in reverse. Scorpio. What do we have here? I'm hearing temperament. So you could be, either you or somebody that you're dealing with has got a bit of an anger, a bit of a temper here, and it may be complicating things. That's one part of this. What else is here? There is some energy here around also, like with this 3 of Wands in reverse, what I feel is that you may be changing your mind about something that you had previously committed to. It could be a project or a person. You know, this could be like a project reading or work reading, or it could be a relationship reading. Perhaps at one time you might have felt really committed to something that you felt had long-term capacity to it. Like it could have been something that you could have seen yourself involved with for a long time. You could have felt like there was something visionary about it that you wanted to be part of or be involved with. Again, could have been a person or a project or some kind of situation. But now I feel like there's this entangled energy that you want to kind of extract yourself from with this Page of Wands in reverse. But what I feel with these 2 reversals here and this one upright in the middle is that you're feeling these things, but you may not be ready yet to actually communicate your position to someone yet. Like you may be waiting to see if things change a little bit, and I think that's fine. I think that's right action, you know, for now, to just like wait for a minute before you actually pull out or resign or break up or something. Just give it a little moment. Just give it a little bit of a moment. I don't know if I can say more about that. Just these cards here. So that was Scorpio. After Scorpio, we have Sagittarius, Tower reverse. There's a Tower again, Sagittarius, with the Six of Pentacles upright and the Sun. Okay, that's nice. Tower reverse, Six of Pentacles and the Sun. So what I feel is here for Sagittarius is that there's an element here of change or sudden unexpected, you know, circumstances may be going awry, or what I felt with that just then is that you might be avoiding some kind of like sudden dramatic changes, because why? Because you like things to be stable and calm, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Tower reverse, Six of Pentacles upright, and the Sun. I want one more card here. Seven of Cups. Just give me a second. I'm hearing closure. So maybe for some of you there is some kind of, if this is a work reading or some kind of partnership, you know, it could be work with the Six of Pentacles. It could be I feel like this is I feel like this is about work, but it could for some of you also be about any kind of partnership, friendship, relationship where there's been some kind of change in the status. I feel like there's been a change in the status, but that it's a mutual feeling. It's okay. Like people are happy with the outcome. There's been a change in status, but people are happy with the outcome. There's an agreeability about this energy. So while the Tower may be kind of feeling a little bit like, you know, a bit destructive or kind of like big energy of change, big change, like sudden change or big change, I feel that there's an agreeability. Like one person might have catalyzed and initiated the change, but the other person is okay with it and they agree. And that's something that's beneficial, like they understand. There's an understanding here. And then the Seven of Cups here is the final kind of point, is saying that it's leaving you in this position, like you may have catalyzed and initiated a change in the status of a relationship. There's definitely like another person involved here. This is not just about a decision that you've made for your own self. This is about a decision that you've made that affects another person, right? And now it's leaving you in this position of, okay, what's next? It's a dreamy energy that it's leaving you. It's leaving you popped out into this area of like, okay, I'm really glad that I made that decision. It may have been a hard decision to make, but where it's leaving you now is in this place of dreaming up and evaluating and kind of imagining what might come next. And I feel there's a spaciousness with this card. I feel like you have a little bit of room. I'm hearing tether. But I feel there's an energy here of you having, maybe tether could refer to like letting yourself have space to kind of like float around and imagine and be, you know, dreamy and pursue, you know, creative ideas without it actually having to mean anything or be anything just yet. But being tethered in the sense meaning like keeping something connecting you to a sort of reality in a way while you kind of have this space and time to imagine and dream up and get really floaty and out there. Knowing that at some point you will have to kind of bring it back down to earth and ground it into something. But it's a nice feeling actually I'm getting with this card, the Seven of Cups. I feel like you're letting yourself have a little bit of room to kind of dream and imagine and pursue ideas that are impractical and they don't have to mean anything right now because you freed yourself up from some commitment here. You've given yourself some space to be untethered or not responsible, but like you don't have to answer to anyone or any responsibilities right now. So you've got room and space and time to do this dreamy evaluation and exploration to figure out what you may want to do in the next cycle, in the next project or the next relationship, whatever it is. That was Sagittarius. Capricorn, let's see. Ten of Cups reversed Seven of Swords reversed. Let's take 3. 5 of Cups. Okay, Capricorn. Capricorn, what is this? 10 of Cups reversed, 7 of Swords reversed, and 5 of Cups. Even though these cards seem a little bit heavy and a bit dreary, what I'm actually getting, what's jumping out at me about all 3 of these cards right now is the green. Really bright green is jumping off the cards. And what I feel is here is that there is a massive healing going on for you in the area of heart. And I feel very much that this is an energy about healing family trauma or pain, or I'm hearing accepting. It's like what we talked about in the main reading here is like whatever happened, whatever has been, whatever has transpired is getting this clear sweep right now. And even though this card of the 5 of Cups here is here, I'm going to take one more actually. Knight of Cups in reverse. So even though all these cards are reversed and there is an energy that's a little bit sad with these, what I feel is that there's a restorative energy that's here that you may, it's almost like you can see what has gone by in the past, and those moments or experiences when you may have revisited them in your memory may have caused you to feel something, but now when you look at them you just feel neutral, you feel understanding, you feel like not, it's not like you don't feel any emotion, but it's not like a triggering effect anymore. There's something purified and restorative about these 4 cards here that feels like there's a regeneration and a refueling. Refueling. I don't know where that came from, but that's standing out. Refueling. Emotional recharge, refuel. It's almost like that, like what's standing out now about this 5 of Cups card here is so cool. I hope you can see that, but see on this green, this building here, this like kind of broken tower, and it's got like all this green life growing over it. It's like it's beauty of decay, you know, like when something is broken and it's been broken for a long time, nature takes over, you know, it heals itself. I think what I feel from this whole reading and specifically with these 4 cards for Capricorn is that I feel like we're in an era where healing can be instant. Healing doesn't have to be this long journey of talking and processing and over again. I feel like we're moving into a time and space now where healing can be instant. We can understand a situation and recover from it really quickly, and the effects of difficult and painful experiences don't need to define us, and we don't need to keep reliving certain kinds of emotional imprints because we haven't understood it. We can have clarity and understanding and acceptance and healing as instantly as we're willing to just like feel all those things and not deny them, but also not keep validating them by going over them. Just clear it. Just be clear. Clear it out. Clear it. Experience it. Feel it. And be done with it. Move on. No need to be defined by traumatic experiences in a way that makes you keep experiencing those similar kinds of patterns again and again. Right? Capricorn. That was Capricorn. Aquarius. Devil reversed. Empress reversed. 7 of Swords. 7 of Wands reversed. So Devil reversed. Empress reversed, 7 of Wands reversed. This is Aquarius. What I feel is here is that there is some kind of, for some of you, and regardless of what your gender is, what I feel is here is that for some of you, you may be coming to a space now where you're actually able to accept and embody and fully express with greater clarity your feminine power. You may have been resistant to that. You may have been resisting your feminine power, your feminine authority. You may have been feeling like you had to be more masculine than you actually wanted to be, or that you felt like You needed to be more masculine and dominant in certain environments and spaces as a way of protecting your sensitivity, if this is making sense. Now I feel like you're overcoming some of that defensiveness and desire to protect your sensitivity, and there's a willingness to be more frail, but not really. Just, I mean, sensitive is, I guess, the best word that I can bring to describe that, but it also doesn't really feel like it totally covers what the energy is. But you get my point, right? There, if you've been a little bit defensive and guarded and feeling like you need to protect your sensitivity and protect your femininity, again, regardless of gender, I feel there's an energy here shifting where some of that guard is dropping, and you're being able to be a little bit more willing to be vulnerable and sensitive and softer, and be able to communicate that and express that verbally and energetically without feeling like you need to defend yourself or you need to justify anything or validate anything. I feel like there's a bit more of a authority and stepping into a more of an authenticity around a specific kind of feminine, divine sensitivity that you are being willing now to express more than you may have been before. That was Aquarius. After Aquarius is Pisces. Okay, Pisces. 8 of Swords and 2 of Swords, both upright. Look at this energy. These blindfolds on. What do we say here? One more card. Wheel of Fortune. Okay, cool. In the previous reading, we had the Wheel of Fortune here in reverse in this quadrant with the Woman of Worlds. Here we have it for you with the 8 of Swords upright, 2 of Swords upright, with the Wheel of Fortune. So, I feel that there is definitely a turning point here. I think that for some Pisces people, you may have been feeling a little bit stuck, like we talked about in the previous reading. A little bit of self-victimization there. Again, related to what we talked about in the previous reading there for the Aquarius people. I feel like for some Piscean people, you may have become a little bit self-victimized by your own sensitivity and vulnerability, and you may have been almost trapped. You may have been trapping yourself or sabotaging yourself or victimizing yourself through life in certain circumstances with people because of your sensitivity, and you may have been using that as an excuse to hide yourself away, to try to protect yourself, to kind of keep yourself at a distance from certain kinds of environments or circumstances or people or even responsibilities that you may have felt like were too much for you to bear because of your sensitivity. And now I feel this 10 from the major arcana, the Wheel of Fortune, is a guidance to you. It's an instruction to say it's time for you to turn the wheel, turn the page on that script, rewrite that narrative, and shift out of that kind of self-imposed imprisonment that you may have created out of a kind of self-sabotaging vacuum that you've created, of victimization, of protecting the self, but you're actually just keeping yourself out of real living. In a way, it's like you've been trying to protect yourself from things that you may have perceived as dangerous or toxic, right? You may have been trying to protect yourself from certain types of things, but what you've actually been doing is just removing yourself from really living. And the Wheel of Fortune here is saying, time to shift gears, time to rewrite that narrative and turn the page, remove the blindfold, unbind yourself, and start to get in there, get amongst it. Throw off your personal story that you've been hiding behind and start to be more involved in real living. You know, start to contribute your energy more, and you'll feel that reciprocity coming back to you. I feel like for some Pisces with these two cards, there may have been an energy where you've been feeling isolated. You may have been feeling lonely and trapped, and you may have been feeling depressed and pessimistic, I'm hearing, with this energy. And it's because you've been isolating yourself and trying to keep yourself separated from life because you feel nervous or scared or anxious or sensitive. But it's time to start to understand that your sensitivity is a gift and a blessing, and it needs to be shared, it needs to be expressed, and you need to overcome the anxiety that you feel, that is kind of, you may have been giving yourself permission with this kind of anxiety story to kind of keep yourself separate from life, but it's time for you to start to engage more. And yeah, it might be uncomfortable and might be difficult at first, but you need to start to learn how to practice and use it in a way that is not debilitating, but actually it helps you to feel more connected, and in that way you can overcome loneliness and separation and anxiety. It's time to get involved. That was Pisces. Aries, we have Queen of Swords reverse and the Six of Swords upright with the star. Cool, beautiful. So what I feel is here for Aries, let's do it this way. So Queen of Swords was first, Queen of Swords, then the Six of Swords, Queen of Swords reverse, Six of Swords, and the star. So this is to me moving away from again, it's a hiding energy with this Queen of Swords reverse. I feel like for some of you, you may have been unwilling to share a certain truth or express something that you may have been able to perceive. This could also be another person. I'm feeling like this Six of Swords with this Queen of Swords reverse here could be describing that you might be removing your energy away from a difficult person that may have been making you feel diminished or confused or somehow agitated, but you couldn't locate exactly what that was, and that may have been making you feel more confused and uncertain. And I feel like you now are feeling a little bit more confident with this Six of Swords in being able to nominate how you direct your own energy, and in doing so you are able to pull yourself away from a person that may have been a little cunning. Someone may have been in your energy that it was a little cunning and causing you to feel confused and diminished and uncertain, and maybe making you lose a little confidence, maybe make you feel uncertain about what it is even you're wanting to communicate. So with this movement away and this kind of transition away from a difficult situation or a difficult person, you're bringing yourself to a space where you're able to feel the clarity of your own truth that you know to be real. That's what the star is bringing here right now. This is real truth and clarity. So it may have taken a lot of courage to make that move, but I feel like you already know, you can already feel that it's a right decision. And bringing you to this place where the star is your guiding energy, you're opening yourself up. Again, it's this availability energy that I felt from the main reading. Like your presence is bringing you to a space where your availability to light is generating much needed changes and transitions, that is bringing you to better spaces, better people, better situations, that maybe much needed. So good for you, Aries, for doing that, for trusting yourself, because that can be hard sometimes when we find ourselves in situations where we're around people that make us question what we feel, what we know to be true, and put us in a space of like lacking in confidence. It's really an uncomfortable place to be, and it can be really difficult to make decisions about movement because a person can make you feel like you don't have the confidence to do so. So it's very brave of you to do that, and it's a good thing. You know that you've done the right thing already. Aries. So Taurus, we have the Emperor upright, 10 of Wands, and 9 of Cups. I love it. Love it. Emperor, 10 of Wands, and 9 of Cups. Again, we had the Emperor in the previous reading here. I feel with these three cards here, the energy for Taurus is saying that, again, there's this energy around authority and what it is you can let go in order to move into a space of greater contentment and fulfillment. So, just give me a second. It's funny with this 10 of Wands. What I'm seeing now is the way he's kind of hugging onto this bundle of sticks. Like somehow there is comfort in the like burden of what was like your workload, you know? I don't know why I find that funny right now. But there's definitely a shift here. I feel like this card, even though it's upright and it's in the middle, I feel like this is what's being let go of, and you're moving more towards this energy of authority, stability, contentedness, fulfillment, power, fire, compassion, intuition, stability, and fun. Those are like all the keywords that are coming out with these two cards here. And this 10 of Wands, I feel like there's a willingness here being that it's kind of sandwiched in between these two energies, where that may have been your MO until recently, but I feel there's this energy here with the Ten of Wands being in the middle of the Emperor and the Nine of Cups, where I feel there's delegation. I feel like with being like embodying more of the Emperor energy with the Nine of Cups, you may be willing to kind of let go some of these tasks here and delegate them to other people. And in doing so, it's giving you this sweeping clearance like we had in this main reading for everyone, where there is a kind of absolution from the past and previous transgressions of things that may have been difficult, that caused you to feel like, even though the difficulty and pressure and challenging times with all this like tasks that are your responsibility, there is that feeling there that even though it's difficult, it's what's familiar and it's what you know, and it's almost like something that's keeping you really embedded in a reality that it feels really tangible and real for you. So in this moment, what I'm feeling with these three cards here is that you stepping into, it's almost like a paradigm shift for sure. There's a paradigm shift here where it may have been a gradual experience of over time moving into this space of the Emperor, but something about this 8-8 energy and this reading here where there's a kind of sweeping clearance energy, you're actually now sitting in the throne that the Emperor is on, and you're embodying that energy of like your authority, and you're knowing and you're trusting, and that's enabling you to feel capable of letting go of this bundle and delegating things so that you can actually just embody this energy here. It's very pleasing. Very pleasing, Taurus. After Taurus is Gemini, Six of Cups reversed with the Six of Wands upright, and the Strength card, beautiful. Six of Cups in reverse, Six of Wands upright, and Strength. So I feel what's here is that there may have been, okay, just give me a second. There may have been some type of, like you may have gone back to something to double check on it. And because you might have thought there was still something there for you that was relevant or valid. But by going back and checking, you realize that actually you were done with that. So you can walk away confidently on your own feeling like, okay, I didn't really need to double check, but I'm glad I did because now I really know for sure I'm done with that. Totally done with that. I can move forward now feeling confident, feeling sure about myself, feeling successful and stable because I really, really am sure now. And in that energy with the Strength card, there is now this feeling here that you can really let go of that. And it's again this sweeping clearance of the past, I feel, with the Six of Cups in reverse. Like you can really, really move on from that. And you don't need to feel like there is something that you still need to take care of. There's nothing that you need to go back over. There's not necessarily even any more communication that needs to be made about that. It's done. Now you can move forward with confidence and step into a kind of calm knowing about what it is that you actually really need to tackle next, right? With this Strength card here, there's a determination here, but with a calm confidence. Like both of these cards are pretty like fiery, of course, very determined, but I feel there's like a kind of a calm knowing here. Like there's an assurance here with both of these cards. There's a type of quiet confidence here. So going forward here, I feel like you've like done a big sweeping clearance of the past, and a lot of emotional baggage that may have been weighing on your heart is now eliminated, and you can move forward with a kind of like, I feel like a lightness. Something heavy has been really put to rest with clarity, and it's not buried, it's just dealt with. It's dealt with. Moving on. What's next? Moving upward. Like this is a rising energy. This is a rising energy. It's an ascending energy. A quickening energy. There's something quickening here. Gemini. Sublime. Very sublime energy here. It's independent. There's something here where also what's standing out to me about these two cards right now is that there's animals and humans together, right? But so what I feel with that, it's not necessarily about animals. What I feel is that it's more about you taming Taming's not the right word either. It's something to do with perhaps in the past certain types of animal instinct, maybe pleasure was too much of a guiding force that might have driven you. Like being too much in the physical senses might have been something that drove you to choices that might not have been good for you, even if you knew them, but you might have let yourself indulge because that animalistic part of the brain was what was kind of running things. But now in these two cards, you can see the humans actually are taming. I don't know how else to describe it. Like you are now stepping into a space where your higher consciousness is guiding your decisions and overriding primal instinct. Let's put it that way. I'm going to leave it there, Gemini. Cancer. 3 of Cups reversed, Knight of Pentacles reversed, and Knight of Swords reversed. Okay, 2 Knights reversed. 3 of Cups reversed. Let's do it this way. 3 of Cups reversed, Knight of Pentacles reversed, and Knight of Swords reversed. What is it? Cancer. I want one more card here. 3 of Swords. Okay, so 2 3s and 2 Knights. I feel what this is now, like with regard to the general reading, where the energy is about this clearance. It's a clearance energy here. That's why I feel it's here. There's this clearance energy here where whatever has been, whatever pains there were, whatever apparent or perceived transgressions or betrayals or hurts or offenses or pains that may or may have not been caused by other people, as far as you've been able to perceive things, I feel there's a sweeping clearance here. There's a clearance. And this doesn't define you anymore. I feel like you're opening to this space where this Ace of Cups, this unconditional love, is what's pouring forth over this whole reading, and it's purifying and clearing all that has been for everyone, but specifically here now we're reading for Cancer. So letting go of all that has been, and it's not just like telling yourself, oh, okay, I'm moving on, but really feeling it, like not letting this scar tissue open again and again to a wound, to the same wound in the same place. No, done. Clearance, healing, moving on, availability, being available to the energy that's being flooding you and flooding your energy and your environment, like being available to that and not living in the past of what has been and what was, and allowing that energy of those things to define you. No more recapitulation, no more rumination, moving on from here. That was Cancer. And after Cancer, we started with Leo. So I feel we've been around the zodiac. I know that was a really long reading. If you've made it through to the end here, thank you so much for watching through. There was a lot in there. I really appreciate your time and your presence. I enjoyed giving this reading very much. It was an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Thank you for subscribing. Please like, share, and comment. And I will see you in the next reading.